Hi. In 1953, Ray Bradbury wrote a book called Fahrenheit 451. This is a world in which having books is illegal. So what do? They have firemen who come and burn books. These are firemen that don't put out fires. Rather, these are people that start fires. And this book has a memorable character who has no name. This is an old woman who, when her books are about to be burned, she decides to allow herself to be burned with the books. When Montag goes to her house and burns her books, and she chooses to die with the books, that creates a shift in Montag. He wonders, how is it possible for somebody to say, I'll die with the books? And to understand this, we need to understand the world of Fahrenheit 451. Fahrenheit 451 is a world in which people are so immersed in being entertained that they don't want to read books. And because they don't like reading books, ability that people have to engage with complex logic and complex communication goes down. When people tried to encounter books, it made them feel sad and frustrated. And that is the reason why they said, okay, we don't want to have anything to do with books. In fact, in this world, the firemen that burned books were called happiness bros because they were seen as bringing happiness to the world by burning books. So in this place, why would this woman choose to die with her books? We get a sense of the answer when she says this line, "Play the man, Master Ridley. We shall this day light such a candle by God's grace in England as I shall trust be never put out." Play the man, Master Ridley. We shall this day light such a candle by God's grace in England as I trust shall never be put out. So what's going on here? Why is she talking about England? To be clear, she's not a Christian in the book. This is not a faith statement about Christianity in the book. To get a sense of the answer, we need to go back into history a little bit. The person that she refers as Master Ridley is a historical character called Nicholas Ridley, who was a bishop of London in the 16th century. This was the time in which the Protestant Reformation had happened and England was under the Church of England, which separated from the Catholic Church. But when Mary became Queen of England, she was Catholic. So she wanted England to go back to Catholicism. Protestant bishops were eventually sentenced to be burnt in the stake. So when Bishop Nicholas Ridley was being burnt in the stake, one of his colleagues, Hugh Latimer, says this line to Nicholas Ridley as a way of trying to console him and also remind him of the purpose for which they were essentially allowing themselves to become martyrs. He says, "Play the man, Master Ridley. We shall this day light such a candle by God's grace in England as I trust shall never be put out." They are giving their lives to is this bigger purpose for them to see the Church of England be established as against the Catholic Church. When we look at history, eventually the Anglican Church is established. Their death is something in which they see a bigger purpose. And anytime people make a stand for a bigger purpose, that draws people in. Martyrdom creating a shift in people is something we see in history multiple times. Will Durant is a historian that wrote a book series called The Story of Civilization, in which he has a book in the early Roman Empire where Christians were being persecuted. And in that he says, Christ and Caesar met in the arena and Christ won. This is the time when Christians were persecuted in the arena. When the people there saw that the people were willing to live for a bigger cause and that they had a bigger purpose and meaning in life, it drew people in and attracted them to this community of faith. In fact, he goes on to say there is no greater drama in human record than the sight of a few Christians scorned or oppressed by a succession of emperors, bearing all trials with fierce tenacity, multiplying quietly, building order where their enemies did chaos, fighting sword with a word, brutality with hope, and at last defeating the strongest empire history had known. Caesar and Christ met in the arena, and Christ had won. So you see, he talks about martyrdom, the willingness to give one's life up for a bigger purpose, being something that attracts people who live in a world of chaos, so to speak. And that is the principle that makes Montag shift his thinking from being a fireman who burns books towards becoming somebody who actually values books, even at the cost of him losing his own lifestyle, losing his own comfort, and it gives him the strength to take action, even when there is no guarantee that his actions will pay off. In fact, Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, talks about people that have a deeper sense of purpose, a deeper sense of why, can bear with almost any how. Viktor Frankl wrote this when he was in the concentration camp in Nazi Germany during World War II. He noticed that people that had a strong sense of purpose were able to withstand any amount of suffering that they faced. Like Viktor Frankl alludes to, making a stand for a bigger purpose is what Nicholas Ridley does. He makes a stand for the Anglican Church that was being persecuted by the Queen, with the hope that through his death, there will be an establishment of the Anglican Church in the future. In the same way, in the book, Ray Bradbury has this woman say this line from Nicholas Ridley, because she too is hoping that by making a stand for a bigger purpose, by dying for the establishment of books, that even though the government had banned the books, in the future, one day, the books will come back. It makes Montag wonder, how is this woman able to live for a bigger purpose? And that shift that Montag has as he encounters her death, her martyrdom, eventually becomes the trajectory of his arc in the story. And that is the power of living for a bigger purpose, which he actually gets from this older lady who gives her life up for a bigger purpose. I want to do a series of videos on Fahrenheit 450, talking about different aspects of living for a bigger purpose. So if you like this video, please click and subscribe to my channel so you wouldn't miss out on the next videos. And if you have any comments or questions, please do post them below and I will answer them. Anyways, until I see you in another video, bye for now.